day 24 of our 30-day challenge. A few years ago, my wife and I went to Vietnam, and the locals would use a term, same, but different. They used it to try and explain that the product they had was the same as the brand name, it was just different. In fact, it didn't need to be anything like the brand name, but you can guarantee it was always different. So, your journey so far is similar to that. A lot of things are the same, but I hope very different to when you began. How are you coping? Change is inevitable, and we will always be changing and moving forward in our lives. Hence why it is so important to check in with your partner daily. Now, of course, as an Aspie, that's one of the hardest things that we can actually do is, well, to change. But with knowledge, our thoughts do change. The more knowledge we have, the more different our thoughts are and how much we change. You will be different. Your partner will be different as well. Now, this might sound like what we were talking about last week, but I want to take a little detour from that, from last week's challenge, because hopefully we've learnt to adapt, and our thought processes are moving towards our new understandings. Now, many years ago, I was challenged to consider my ideology, just towards life in general. I won't go into details of what a family psychiatrist or psychologist made a comment about. That was a negative change. However, we're going to talk about a positive one. So, with that, I needed to change the way that I was looking at my life. I needed to understand, do I want to live according to what life deals me, or am I going to start planning my ideal life and set goals and reward myself and my family when we hit the major markers? So, for me, it has worked really well. So that's why I'm setting this challenge. Your challenge is to sit down with your partner and work out what your ideal life would look like. I want you to grab a nice bright coloured piece of cardboard, maybe about an A3, maybe even an actually probably an A1 is better than an A3, otherwise it's too small pictures. So go with an A1 size piece of cardboard, and I want you to stick pictures of what your ideal life would look like. Then I want you to describe what each one of those pictures mean to you and your partner. Then the important part, because what we've just created is what they call a vision board, if you want to look it up and see some of the actual information around vision boards. And yes, they do work when you actually see them on a regular basis and you actually believe that this is something that you can achieve. So, you can't achieve something if you don't plan. So you need to plot out what your markers along the way are going to be. So think of them, if we were in a car, think of them as the street signs. You're looking for a particular street or a particular road, and you see that sign. So that's where you're going to aim for, that's where you're going to make a turn towards where your next destination is. Now, along the way, you're going to have to put fuel in occasionally. Now, they're your rewards. So think of it very similar to stopping at a fuel stop, and you go in and you end up grab a bucket load of all sorts of snacks for the road. So all your favourite bits and pieces. Now, in real life, what you're going to be doing is you're going to reward yourself with something that means something to you and your partner and your family. So whether or not that's, if let's end up using the Vietnam example. Maybe as we aim to actually go to Vietnam, one of our rewards may have been to go and have a Vietnamese meal. That was a reward as we hit one of our markers. So, the more you plan your future, the more you can share your journey with your partner. Now, yes, it is okay to have different dreams, because the beauty of a relationship is that it is two different people who have chosen to live together. Now, at some stage, you guys have made a decision about what living together means to you. Now, if you got married, you may have had wedding vows that also outlined what it is that it means to you. So, if you are true to your agreement around your relationship, then it doesn't mean that you have to share every aspect of your partner's life. It just means that you have to be, well, you have to end up stick to what you've actually promised your partner. Anyway, I can go on about this one for quite some time, and I'm trying to keep them down under the 10-minute mark. Anyway, all the best. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to like. And I will see you tomorrow. And hopefully I will feel a little bit more relaxed. I'll put up a bit of a video a bit later on about what I've been doing all day, and you'll understand why I am absolutely exhausted. Talk then. Catch ya.